Okay, so the next pattern we're going to talk about is the rising wedge. Rising wedges move the chart around the market. What I mean by that is in the other videos we've discussed the descending triangle and the ascending triangle. They move the chart either down or up. Wedges are a little bit different. And what I mean by that is they come to a point, they just do it at a diagonal. What I mean by that is a rising wedge comes to a point, and then just to piss you off, it drops, and it does it in a hurry. Rising wedges are either known as continuation patterns, which means that happens in the middle of the chart, or they happen at a turn of a reversal. So what I mean is here's a rising wedge here. See how it's not necessarily like a triangle. So it's not an ascending triangle because it's not flat and slanted on the bottom. It's slanted on the top and the bottom, but it's at an angle. And it tanks the price. That's a reversal pattern. Now, right after it, you have another rising wedge here. This is a continuation pattern. Just like there's one right here. Again, the easiest way to find or to identify a rising or a falling wedge is to come out of your candle chart and you want to go into your line chart. Remember, the line chart is the part that is right next to the candle chart. So the candle charts are the one in the middle, or the red box in the middle. We are talking about the line chart over here to the right. Everyone meet Ryan Brown, multi-millionaire trader. So, somebody is truly. One day he'll buy me a cup of coffee. So, a rising wedge comes to a point, some say at a 90-degree angle, and then immediately goes the opposite way. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that my music was on in the background. So, this is how you see things my way, the easy way. You go over to the line chart and you can eyeball it. See how the chart is coming up at an angle on both sides? That's your wedge. And they absolutely come in this way. And then they have what you call a broadening wedge, which they come in completely backwards. And they're still valid, oddly enough. So if you have a inverted broadening wedge, it is still an uptrend pattern. So again, how do you find a rising or falling wedge? You turn on the line chart, doesn't matter what you're looking at. Right now, we're looking at odd USD in real time. So if I turn on the candles and I pull the chart forward, I can readily identify multiple rising wedges. Case in point, this beautiful one right here. Came to a point, immediately dropped. Next one. Comes to a point, immediately reverses. Now, we got one more. It's right here. Right there at the tip of the trend reversal. Now, again, how am I identifying this? I'm able to see it. You go from wick to wick. However, if you're not seeing it, you pull out your line chart, right next to the candlestick chart, and you can see how the points are there. So you have point 1, point 2, point 3, and immediately a drop. Point 1, point 2, point 3, drop. Point 1, point 2, point 3, and a drop. Now, you can say, well, do they come in the opposite way? Yes, and for that, I know that you guys are renting or buying these videos by the pattern. And I see so many people that will cut these up and they'll sell it pattern by pattern. I don't believe in that. I got enough money. I want you guys to get value for what it is that you're seeing. So let's draw this out. A rising wedge comes to a point and drops. A falling wedge, which I don't know if some of you caught this or not, but there's a falling wedge right before that mini wedge in front of it. If you caught it, great. I'm proud of you. So here's your rising wedge. And there's a falling wedge before it. There's a rising wedge here. Now, in the last video, I talked about how the ascending triangle is a very weak pattern. And here is an ascending triangle here. Ascending triangles start out a lot like a rising wedge, but just by one wick, they continue and it moves the price up. Now, I absolutely encourage when you're looking at the rising and falling wedges that you turn on your line chart and then come back and check your work with the line pattern or the line chart. So here is the original rising wedge here. This rising wedge caused all this price to drop. Now, in the other videos, if you've rented or bought, we talked about the head and shoulders pattern. You will 9 times out of 10 find a head and shoulders pattern reversal above or below a falling or rising wedge trend reversal. 9 times out of 10. I'll see you on the next video. Before I go back to the candlestick chart and draw all those same patterns. There's your rising wedge. There's your head and shoulders. Your falling wedge that we just discussed is here. See how they always come to a point and then they go the opposite direction. Next, say hi, Natalia. Here's your rising wedge. And not to be outdone, pull this chart forward. And here is the last one we discussed. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Connect all the wicks. Always go wick to wick. And there's your rising wedge that drops. I'll see you on the next video, guys.